Hey dear friends, Patrick once again. I'm making this video on the Tuesday the 28th, but I'm just going to schedule it to be uploaded. So this will probably be live on what, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, probably Thursday the 30th, something like that. Happy Thursday in the future. So part three, I wanted to talk a little bit about, I guess, economics, you could say. What's going to happen if there's hyperinflation. You know, you see that the governments, the Western governments in particular, Canada and the US in particular, are not being fiscally responsible. In other words, they're just printing money hand over fist and they don't care about the debt increasing. And it appears not to be having a significant impact on the economy because everything kind of just seems to be going along as usual. You can still get stuff. You still buy a loaf of bread for a couple of dollars. You can still, barely fill up your gas tank half for $50. That's pretty expensive. But you're seeing that inflation. The big money has to go somewhere. Where does it go? Real estate. Why has real estate exploded in cost? Because the people with significant amounts of money, the people that are close to the money printer, will like to invest in hard assets, right? Like real estate, like rental properties. That's why the stock market is still afloat, because a lot of money needs to go into somewhere to earn a return. And so there's different economic pundits that you can listen to out there that will tell you that there is a possibility of the US dollar hyperinflating, and in consequence the Canadian dollar. They cough and we catch a cold kind of thing. The economies are obviously closely connected, being our largest trading partner and what have you. And the value of the dollar is pegged to the US dollar. And so if that were to happen, the value of your currency would hyperinflate and you would start to lose value, like we've seen in other countries. Say, oh, that would never happen here. Well, if it does, it would cause catastrophic economic fallout for the citizens of the country, right? You'd go out to buy your groceries one day and have to spend $20, and you'd go out the next day and have to spend 40, and maybe the day after 60, and you would see this crazy devaluation of the dollar. People would run on the banks. They would want to take all their cash out because they'd be scared it'd be confiscated. There'd be all kinds of turmoil in the credit markets. So maybe banks would call people on their mortgages. People would have to walk away from their homes. There'd be all kinds of chaos, probably beyond what we could even think, right? So societal unrest, societal turmoil, economic collapse, and that may cause the option of a secure, uniformly accepted digital currency to be implemented that would make more sense, that would have a more stable value. Now, currently, the digital currencies have a wildly speculative value, and they're all over the place and whatnot. But that could start to stabilize over time. And as it cannot be inflated, they cannot create more of it because of the mathematical way that the currency is produced in the first place, and because it's decentralized so that nobody can change the protocol without getting agreement from all the other members of that network, if you want to call it that. So it can't just, somebody just can't say, oh, we're going to make more of this currency. No, you can't do that. You'd have to have a consensus among the bulk of the decentralized miners of the currency, so to speak. And so what that may precipitate is the increase in not just popularity, but the necessity. It may cause an increase in the necessity of a digital currency in the future. And how might you benefit from that? From what I've studied, and you can take this with a grain of salt because, everybody has their own ideas about things, that the superior technology in the digital currency space is a currency by the name of Kaspa. Kaspa is a Armenian word for silver. I thought that was kind of cute. And if you look at when you had the early browsers, right? Yahoo, Bing, Alta Vista, these early browsers, Netscape Navigator, where are they now? They had the they had the first mover advantage, but they were still overtaken by Google. When Google came along a little bit later, it had superior search engine technology and it became the de facto standard. Now it's got the bulk of the market share. Currently, Bitcoin is the first mover advantage. It's the number one cryptocurrency out there, limited supply, only 21 million, and blah, blah, blah. It's secure network, blockchain, but it's slow. It cannot be used as a method of payment because if you were to use it on a debit card or a credit card and swipe with it, it would take 10 minutes to settle, sometimes a couple of hours. They have this new thing called the Lightning Network that they say is going to make it instant, which is not efficient because that's a custodial service, right? It's already been essentially shut down in the United States. The wallet of Satoshi that was using Lightning Network payments, gone, right? Government said, no, that's not going to happen here. And so that technology is already facing barriers, but you won't hear about that. How am I doing for time? You won't hear about that because there is a strong incentive to push Bitcoin at every turn. When you see it being promoted on MSNBC and Fox News and all that, you know that, okay, they want to push Bitcoin as a valuable thing to invest in or to have some of. But that should put warning bells off on your head and say, is that really the best way of transacting over the internet? The money of the internet, is that going to be the future of money on the internet where you just have a wallet address and boom, instant payment, instant settlement? No, it's not. Obviously, it's not. But nobody's going to tell you that. You have to discover that for yourself. And any new $1 million business opportunity idea is going to take your own decision making, right? It's going to take your own digging to figure out what works. In the last video, I talked about self-publishing books. To be able to self-publish your own book on Amazon, you're going to have to dig into the topic. You're going to have to see how it works. You're going to have to go onto the Amazon website and read how it works. Read their terms of service. Read how, practice how to upload a document and then manage that document, format that document, add a title to that document. These are all things that need you to personally take responsibility and put in the effort to do it yourself. Hands-on learning. You can't have somebody do it for you. You can have people that handhold and they'll sell you training or something like that. Anybody that says free training, it's not free, right? Because they're trying to get you to buy their training or all that. Don't go for all that bullshit. Learn yourself. You don't need anybody to sell you a course or sell you a program. Learn it yourself. Do the work that's required. And so, returning to the idea of Kaspa, people say, oh, well, if only you would have bought Bitcoin at $1 or even Bitcoin at $100. Now it's trading for, $60,000, $70,000 a Bitcoin. If you want to know the value of Kaspa, just divide Bitcoin by 1,366. It doesn't matter. Sorry. There's 28 billion Kaspa. There's only 21 million Bitcoin. Divide 28 billion by 21 million. What do you get? 1,300, 1,600, something like that. Take the price of Bitcoin, divide it by that number, and what does that give you as a number that would be currently equal? So if Kaspa was trading for like $100 right now, it would be similar to the value that Bitcoin had in the past. Kaspa is only a couple of years old. Does it make sense what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm confusing myself with the numbers, but you know what I mean, right? You have to dig in and compare apples to apples and say, okay, if this is going to be the future superior digital asset, where is it now in its life cycle? Well, Kaspa currently trading at 13, 14 cents US. And you start to dig into it, you start learn about it. million-dollar opportunities in that space are not from meme coins, not from chasing after some kind of Pepe or Dogecoin or something like that. That's for the scammers. That's for the people that want to go to Las Vegas and just spin the wheel and put their money down and lose all their money, and they get a kick out of that and they're happy with that. But that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about whether there's a genuine million-dollar business opportunity where you take, let's say, $2,000, you buy maybe around 10,000 Kaspa, and with that 10,000 Kaspa, in the span of, let's say, 10 years, if that reaches a value of $100, what is that? That's $1 million that you wouldn't have had otherwise. Will it ever reach $100? I don't know. Some people say yes, it will over 10 years. Maybe after 5 years, it might reach the value of only $1. Maybe it reaches the value of $10. And what would make you think that that value could reach that level? That takes your own individual personal research, looking at the emission schedule, looking at the adoption rates, looking at the applications that it can be used for, whether they eventually get smart contracts implemented for it, as an example. Many different factors will affect the future value. But with hyperinflation happening on the other end that we use to value that digital currency, so it doesn't even have to increase as much in today's dollars, because you're going to be comparing it to future dollars. And if future dollars hyperinflate at a ratio of 100 to 1, you know, a loaf of bread costs you $2 today, maybe it'll cost you $200 10 years from now. And that might be the norm. If that's the case, then who's to say that the digital asset with a limited supply wouldn't be trading at $100? It would be a piece of cake for it to trade at that level. You see what I'm saying? These type of things, let the thoughts swirl around in your mind if you want to explore that $1 million opportunity, because it is $1 million opportunity. Because we've seen it in Bitcoin. There's people. Max Kaiser is a well-known figure in the Bitcoin space. He discovered Bitcoin right away. Why? Because he was studying that area as a stockbroker working in New York, and he thought, wouldn't it be great to have a digital currency? And he was kind of mulling around and trying to figure it out himself, actually. And so when it came on scene, he immediately recognized it. He went to as many people as he could and said, here, let me just I'll give you 1,000 Bitcoin. Just save it, keep it, put it in your pocket. This thing is going to be the future of digital currency. It's going to explode in value. It has to, because of this, because he understood the concept when no one else did. In fact, he went to Alex Jones and said, just take this 1,000 Bitcoin. And Alex Jones was like, no, I don't want anything to do with that. That's a scam. Again, he wasn't able to pick up the briefcase, was he? Remember I talked about the briefcase in the last video with the $1 million in it? And now how much would that be worth? 1,000 times whatever the price is. Let's say 60,000 US dollars. I can't even calculate that in my head. That's 3 zeros. 60,000, 600,000, 6 million, $60 million? If somebody gave you $60 million of value, and a short time ago, that was only like less than 15 years ago. It was created in 2009, 15 years is 2024. That was probably like less than 15 years ago that Max Kaiser was going around offering people free Bitcoin. This is going to be the future. Take 1,000. Here, I'll just send you 1,000. It's only worth like 50 cents. I'll send you $50 worth of Bitcoin. The first Bitcoin transaction was 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 pizzas. 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 pizzas. It was fairly launched. It had a value of 0 when it started, just like Kaspa was fairly launched. Didn't keep half of the supply back for the developers and founders like Ethereum or like Algorand bullshit or whatever other bullshit you want to talk about. And now you see Scaramucci advertising Algorand on commercials. Come on. Don't fall for the BS. Don't be naive. Don't fall for the bullshit scams that are out there, or the even the YouTube videos that are constantly being portrayed of Michael Shella speaking, saying, "Send us, what does it say? Send us 1 Bitcoin, we'll send you 2 back." They actually allow that scam to continue running 24/7 on YouTube, on multiple channels. Every day, send us whatever Bitcoin you have, and you'll double it. You'll get it back. And people actually fall for that. Otherwise, they wouldn't be running those ads. Don't be naive. Don't be a sucker, right? Think about it. Ask God to protect you from the pitfalls, the dangers of the greed in the world, right? God has promised to protect us from deception. He's promised to guide us in a way that will lead us to our destination of heaven one day, safely and with joy and with happiness along the way. It doesn't have to be a struggle. If you tell yourself it has to be a struggle, you've chosen that mindset. You've chosen that lifestyle. Some people say, well, I have to live on the street because I have no choice. Really? You really believe that you have no choice in your life? Well, I have no choice. You're either suffering from a multi-generational curse that needs to be broken. Think about the age of the earth. How long is the earth going to last? Do you know we might be in the infancy of the existence of the earth? You can sometimes use the moon and the sun as a kind of a clock. And it is in such perfect balance that they both take up the exact same size in the sky. Now, astronomers will tell you that, I'm going off on a tangent here, I know. They'll tell you that they're going to move away a few inches a year so that eventually they won't be the exact same position in the sky. But you know what? That hasn't changed for 2,000 years. God promised to Moses that the blessings of God would be for 1,000 generations. 1,000 generations, that's 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 years. The history of the earth is only, what's the earliest writing? 1500 BC? Maybe if you push max 3000 BC. Now, I'm not a young earth person. I don't believe the earth was created in 6000 BC or 4004 BC or something like that. I don't care if it's been a couple 100,000 years old or a couple of billion years old. What I'm saying is that if that prophecy is true, if that scripture is true, 1,000 generations takes us to the year 30,000 or 40,000 AD, and we're currently living in 2024 AD. What does that tell you about the age of the earth? Why did I get on that topic? Who knows? I don't know. Nobody knows. But while we're here, we can have a blessed time while we're here if we have what? Faith. Jesus said, am I even going to find faith when I return to the earth? So often he said to people, where's your faith? You know, Peter had a little bit of faith. He started to walk on water. You know, they say when a person is really good in sales, they say, oh, that person can walk on water. He started to walk on the water, but then when he saw the storms and looked around, he started to sink. And the Lord said, where's your faith? Right? What happened? What happened to your faith? Why not have strong faith? How do you build strong faith? They asked him, how do we build our faith stronger? How's my time? And his answer was to put God first. To put God first. Worship God first. And he'll gladly give you anything you need. In fact, you can even ask for whatever you want, and he'll give it to you. But you've got to have faith. Put your faith in God. Ask him to help you, protect you from all the deceptions and the greed and the evil that's in the world, and give you a future and a hope. Jeremiah 29:11. God knows he has plans to prosper you. But don't go running away into some weird direction where you're going to run into shipwreck. Ask God for faith. Find your opportunity. Think about it. If it works, it could be $1 million business opportunity for you. Don't give up. God loves you. So do I. Thank you for watching. God bless you. And we hope to talk to you again real soon. Take care, okay? Bye for now.